and welcome to my channel. My name is Lynn, and this month we are celebrating Spellbinders' 20th birthday. There is a huge birthday celebration release this month, and I've just got a few things that I'm playing with. So I'll probably have maybe 2 or 3 different videos because I started off wanting to actually combine them all into one, but I ended up making so many cards with these couple of Glimmer plates that I thought were amazing. And so you'll probably see 2 or 3 videos instead of just the one. Okay, so here I've got the So Many Candles Glimmer plate, and as you can see, this is a big one. This can actually span the entire 5.5 width of a standard USA2 size card. And so you can see here, this black panel of cardstock, it's actually cut to a USA2 size card base. So that's 4.25 by 5.5. And you can see that when I reveal this, how gorgeous those candles look and how prominent they are. So I found that when I started to put my cards together, which you'll see after I do all of my glimmering, that you don't really need much else beyond this gorgeous, especially with foiling. I feel like foiling is such a special touch already, but with these candles stretching the entire width of the card and taking up pretty much 90% of your card front, for many of my cards I didn't add much else other than the sentiment. Here's a fun sort of slow motion reveal. This is my favorite, but also most scary part of glimmering, because sometimes you get a perfect foiling, sometimes not so much. So what I always do is, I have a magnetic cutting mat and steel ruler from We Are Memory Keepers, and that's what I choose to use to cut my foil. I do have, funnily enough, I do have the cutting blade from Spellbinders. It was part of my design team package from Pear Tree Treasures. Look at this, isn't this fun? And Spellbinders does have a their own sort of cutting mat and system, which is actually kind of nice. They have, instead of a metal ruler like I have, what they have is a cutting mat, and then on top of that there's this, I think it's plastic, I don't know for certain because I don't actually have it, but it has slots that you can use as essentially channels that you can run your blade through. So it actually keeps your entire piece of foil nice and flat, and then you can cut it to whatever width that you want. The idea being that you really just want to cut enough, especially here, this is a good example, you just want to cut enough foil to cover your glimmer plate. That way it reduces the risk of having overfoiling. And so, this way you actually get more out of your foil as well. With the Glimmer machine, if you've never glimmered before, essentially you plug it in, one of the lights, the topmost light, will glow, turn on. That lets you know that the Glimmer machine is actually on. When the second light turns green, that's when it's ready. So you want to put your plate on there, then you want to stack your foil so that basically the dull side touches your cardstock. You basically want the pretty side face down, touching your glimmer plate. And so you would have your glimmer plate, your foil face down, pretty side face down, your cardstock. Then the Glimmer machine comes with 2 additional plates. There's a frosted plate and a clear plate. And when that third light turns green is when you know it is ready to roll through. You take that entire sandwich, unplug it from your machine, and roll it through your platinum. So when I glimmer, I like to just go to town and just do a lot of glimmering. So I have a lot of sentiments. I just chose, just to keep things a little bit self-contained, I chose just a couple of uh, foil colors to work with. And I also have one of the solid glimmer plates, so you can foil your leftover piece as well and sort of get that negative or the reverse image. So here I'm just sorting through and combining, what sentiments I might like to pair with which candles. And you can already see a sneaky peek into the next die set that I'll be working with. I thought this was all going to be part of the same video, so you actually won't see me play with that set. I'm gonna focus this one on just the So Many Candles glimmer plate and the birthday glimmered sentiments are also part of this birthday release as well. And I can't remember the actual product name for that, but I'll leave links to everything in the description box below if you're curious to check out any of these specific items. And I'll leave a link to the birthday celebrations release if you want to see what else came out in this release. So the rest of this is just going to be pretty easy, fast card assembly because, as I mentioned, I feel like when I use a glimmered background like this, I don't feel like I want to add too much more to it than that, because then you start to really cover up a lot of that gorgeous glimmer. And so all of these cards, all I've done is put that panel right onto a US A2 size card base, and then I'm going to attach my sentiment. So here, with the glimmered sentiments, we got Happy Birthday in two different fonts. So I kind of like that there's a little bit of variation there. And then we got a lot of sort of sub-sentiments also, including one for if you are in a situation where you've forgotten somebody's birthday and you're sending a belated birthday card. There's actually one that I think it reads something like, "Oops, I forgot your birthday," which I think is really cute because we've all been there, right? So what I love, though, is now that Spellbinders is releasing solid foil plates, you can make use of every bit of your foil. So for both my sentiments and my candles, you'll see that I use both the positive and the negative, and it's fantastic because even if you don't need it straight away on the card that you're working on, while everything is still on your glimmer machine and it's nice and hot, you may as well take a moment and just glimmer up that remaining piece, because then you have no waste, you're using all of your gorgeous foil, and you have additional sentiments for later too. So I thought, since all of those cards were rather simple, I thought I would do something a little bit different for my last card. So especially so I chose this gorgeous foil. I have to look up the name of it, so and I'll link to this as well. But I foiled it onto white just to see how it would look, and white, as it turns out, gets very lost in this very shiny foil. So I thought, well, what I'll do then is I'll just ink through, and the foil will resist the ink a little bit, but you kind of want to be quick to wipe that off. That's why I've got just this bit of shop towel here, and immediately after I've inked through, I give it a good wipe, and that way any ink outside of the white area that's on top of the foil will hopefully clean off. And for the most part it did. There's a little bit that if you compared it side by side with some foiling that wasn't inked over, you can maybe see that there's a difference, but that's only by comparison. If you were to just look at these candle pieces on their own, you would really never know that the gold didn't look that way originally. And so I thought I would use these two candles, but connected as they are, they seem a little awkward, so I decided to just fussy cut them and separate them entirely. And you can see I use so many different scissors. So I started off with my big scissors, then I moved to my Fiskars small scissors, which are fine detail, but I feel like they're not my best scissors for fussy cutting. These serrated scissors from Tonic are my favorite for fussy cutting, and even though I'm not a fan of fussy cutting, those do the job really well. So with that rainbow background behind the candle, I thought I would rainbow up a panel of white cardstock, and I'm using some of the Fun Stampers Journey silks that I picked up during the clearance sale. Was it the spring clearance sale? I'm not sure. It was one of the Spellbinders clearance sales where you got a lot of deals for, you know, just a couple of dollars, and I think these were selling for $2 each, which is a pretty big price drop. And it just so happened that I do have most of the colors of the rainbow. I don't have yellow, but I do have an orange, and that worked out actually pretty well. So instead of yellow, I decided to use so I did actually buy this gold ink. It's actually a re-inker from Fun Stampers Journey for their gold metallic ink pad, but I bought it to splatter with, and it splatters really well. It's the gold you can hardly see because I splattered with a very fine brush, so the splatters are really, really small, but I think that's good because we've got the gold foiling that I want to sort of be the star. So I don't want too much gold there. I just want to tie a little bit of that gold into the background. Now this composition I actually thought worked out pretty well just to put it on a black background. But I didn't have a sentiment that I wanted to pair with it that was the negative with gold and white. I had the Oops, I Missed Your Birthday in that combination where it was the lettering was white and the foil was the background, but I really wanted something more like Happy Birthday. And so even though I saw that that was a good sort of, I think I want to go back and make a card like that, I decided I'll stick to my original plan of putting these two glimmered candlesticks onto my splattered background and then adding a one of the sub-sentiments at the bottom here. So this one reads, "Have a magical day." And it brings some of that black in and again, some more gold. So here's a final recap of all of the cards that I made today. The last one took a little bit more time and effort, but with glimmering, you really don't have to do too much, especially with this combination of glimmer plates. And I think you get some really special, fancy looking cards because foiling, I feel like, always steps your card up a notch and gives it that really special shine and sparkle. I hope that you enjoyed my cards today, and check back tomorrow. I'll probably put up another video showcasing some more of the Spellbinders birthday collection. Thanks again, and until next time, happy crafting and have a fantastic day. Bye!